Have you ever gazed at the night sky and questioned reality? Do the vastness of space and the strangeness of the quantum world make you wonder if something else is going on? What if I told you that our reality might be a meticulously crafted illusion, a computer simulation so advanced that we, its inhabitants, are completely oblivious? This isn't science fiction. This is the simulation hypothesis, a mind-bending idea gaining traction among philosophers, physicists, and even tech giants like Elon Musk. It suggests that what we perceive as real, from the chair you're sitting on to the stars in the sky, could be nothing more than lines of code in a supercomputer. The idea that reality isn't what it seems has been around for centuries, pondered by philosophers and mystics alike. But it's in the 21st century, with the rise of powerful computers and virtual reality, that the simulation hypothesis has taken on a whole new level of intrigue. Could we be living in a simulated world, a digital playground created by beings more advanced than we can imagine? Buckle up, because things are about to get weird. The simulation hypothesis isn't just the plot of a blockbuster film, it's a serious philosophical argument that has captivated some of the brightest minds of our time. The late Stephen Hawking, a giant in the field of physics, believed it was entirely possible. Elon Musk, the entrepreneur behind Tesla and SpaceX, has gone even further, stating that the odds are 1 in billions that we're living in a simulation. Think about the exponential growth of computing power. Video games become more realistic every year. It's not a stretch to imagine a future where simulations are indistinguishable from reality itself. Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom, a leading voice in this arena, argues that if civilizations reach a point where they can create such simulations, then the number of simulated realities would vastly outnumber the single base reality. If that's true, the odds are stacked against us experiencing the real deal. The simulation hypothesis isn't about proving that we're living in a computer program. It's about exploring the unsettling possibility that we might be. Remember that feeling of having lived through a moment before? That eerie sense of déjà vu? Or those uncanny coincidences that seem too perfect to be random? Proponents of the simulation hypothesis point to these glitches as evidence of a reality that isn't quite as solid as we think. Then there are the Mandela effects, where large groups of people have shared memories of events that never happened, or details that don't match up with historical records. Did Nelson Mandela die in prison in the 1980s, or did he live to see his release and become president of South Africa? Ask around, and you'll find people who swear with absolute certainty that both versions of history are true. Of course, there are more conventional explanations for these phenomena. Déjà vu could be a neurological hiccup, coincidences a matter of probability, and the Mandela effect a case of collective false memory. But what if these glitches are cracks in the code, glimpses behind the curtain of our simulated world? These anomalies might be nothing more than the quirks of human perception. Or, they could be the digital fingerprints of our creators. The world of quantum mechanics, the realm of atoms and subatomic particles, is a bizarre and counterintuitive place. It's a world where particles can exist in multiple states at once, where information seems to travel faster than light, and where the act of observation can influence the outcome of an experiment. Even Albert Einstein, the father of modern physics, struggled with the implications of quantum mechanics, famously declaring, "God does not play dice with the universe." But what if the universe is playing a game, and we're just pawns on its cosmic chessboard? The strange behaviors of the quantum world, with its probabilistic nature and fuzzy reality, could be interpreted as evidence of a simulated universe. Think of it this way. Just as a video game renders only the parts of the world the player is currently interacting with, perhaps our simulated reality only renders the details we directly observe. Could it be that the very fabric of reality, at its most fundamental level, hints at a deeper simulated truth? The more we delve into the quantum realm, the more it seems that our universe operates less like a clockwork machine and more like a computer program. Section 5. Mirroring reality. Look around at the incredible progress we've made in technology. We've created virtual worlds within our computers, immersive environments that can transport us to distant planets or put us in the shoes of historical figures. We're on the cusp of developing artificial intelligence so sophisticated that it might just become indistinguishable from human consciousness. The simulation hypothesis suggests that this technological trajectory isn't merely coincidental. It's a reflection of our creators, a sign that we're hardwired to replicate the conditions of our own simulated existence. We create virtual worlds because, on a fundamental level, we understand that our reality might be a virtual world itself. Just as a child might build a Lego castle, mimicking the grand structures they see in their world, we, the simulated inhabitants of a grander reality, can't help but try to create worlds in our own image. Our drive to simulate could be a clue to our own simulated nature. Perhaps our creations are not just imitations of reality, but echoes of it, faint whispers of the code that underpins our existence. If we are living in a simulation, the next question is, who or what created it? The answer, even for the most ardent supporters of the simulation hypothesis, remains a mystery. Are we the playthings of advanced extraterrestrial beings conducting a grand experiment on a cosmic scale? Or perhaps our creators are not biological beings at all, but a superintelligent AI that has long since surpassed its creators. Maybe they're running countless simulations, exploring different possibilities, or simply seeking entertainment. Some have even suggested that our simulators might be future versions of ourselves, looking back at a particular point in human history. Imagine a future where time travel is possible and historians can create simulations to study the past. The possibilities are as endless as the universe itself, but the question remains, what is the purpose of our simulated existence? Are we data points in a cosmic experiment, characters in a divine video game, or something else entirely? The implications of discovering we live in a simulation are nothing short of mind-blowing. It would fundamentally alter our understanding of reality, our place in the universe, and even the nature of our own existence. Would it change the way we live our lives? Some argue that such a discovery would be liberating, freeing us from the constraints of our perceived reality. Others fear it would be utterly terrifying, leaving us with a sense of meaninglessness and existential dread. If our lives are just lines of code, do our choices even matter? The truth is, there's no way to know for sure how we would react. Would we embrace the digital nature of our existence, or would we rail against the architects of our simulated prison? It's a question that each of us would have to answer for ourselves. The consequences of discovering the truth could be profound, but they could also be surprisingly mundane. We might simply shrug our shoulders, marvel at the ingenuity of our creators, and carry on with our lives. So, how do we know for sure if we're living in a simulation? Is there a way to test the simulation hypothesis and peek behind the curtain of our perceived reality? While there's no definitive proof, some scientists believe there might be subtle clues hidden within the fabric of the universe itself. One idea is to search for the digital fingerprints of our simulators. Just as a high-resolution image reveals its pixelated nature when zoomed in far enough, perhaps the fabric of our reality might reveal its simulated nature at the Planck scale, the smallest measurable unit of space and time. Another possibility is to look for evidence of error-correcting codes, similar to those used in computer programs, embedded within the laws of physics. If our universe is a simulation, it stands to reason that our creators would have built-in mechanisms to prevent catastrophic errors. These are just a few of the ideas being tossed around. The search for proof is in its infancy, but the very act of searching tells us something profound about ourselves. We are a species driven by curiosity, constantly seeking to understand the nature of our existence. The simulation hypothesis is a mind-bending concept that challenges everything we thought we knew about reality. It forces us to confront the possibility that our universe, with all its beauty and complexity, might be nothing more than an elaborate illusion. But even if we are living in a simulation, it doesn't diminish the wonder and mystery of our existence. On the contrary, it adds a whole new layer of intrigue. It suggests that we are part of something much grander than we ever imagined, a creation far more complex and intricate than we could have ever conceived. So the next time you gaze at the stars, consider the possibility that you might be staring at lines of code, a digital tapestry, woven by beings beyond our comprehension. The universe might be a simulation, but the awe and wonder it inspires are very real.